Another edition of Nightcap with Scone, a show that was born out of quarantine when wasn't nobody doing nothing, so we said, hey, on a Whiskey Wednesday, let's fire up a live video at night. We'll have a pour, we'll talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. It might be sports, it might be media, it might be nothing of the sort, but just something to do. And by popular demand, we've kept it going even after quarantine. We're brought by Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We're brought to you by Gamecoin, the first sports crypto with a purpose. And my goodness, I am fired up to share a great Gamecoin update with you tonight at some point throughout the show. We're brought to you by MyCleanLiving.net. MyCleanLiving.net. NASA technology inside of their air purifiers proven to eliminate dozens of harmful pathogens, including the virus that causes COVID-19. But that's just the start of it. MyCleanLiving.net. And my girl, Crystal Poche. She's a sorcerer. It's witchcraft to tell you. If you have pain, she will take you out of it. Do not live in pain. Do yourself a favor and just book a session. You will thank me later. MyCleanLiving.net. MyCleanLiving.net. Okay, everybody. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Trying to get the old television here cranked up. Oh, I wonder if... Ooh, that's why. Probably because that's why. Our Wi-Fi went out earlier. That's why that's off. Anyway. Okay, everybody. Let me know what you're pouring. Drop your comments. You know what? No, I don't know if I've shared this yet. We're going to do it again. If we might have already done it, but we're going to do it again. Boom. Okay. All right. Let me know what your... Cool. There we go. All right, let me know what you're sipping on. Drop a comment there. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button. We appreciate you greatly. If you're on Facebook, like the page shed post, like the page shed post. He's on the couch. Or down on the ground by the couch. How about Malcolm Jenkins retires today from the NFL? Tyron Mathieu to the Saints makes an awful lot of sense. Baseball Tigers are en fuego. They welcome in the Auburn Tigers to the box for a 3-game series starting on Thursday. Spring football practice continues. A couple of transfers this week. We also have had a lot of movement on the LSU basketball roster, as you might expect, considering. Go. And Pels are playing as we speak. Great opportunity tonight the Pels have on the road against the Portland Jailblazers. So, ton to get to, man. Y'all fire away with your comments. Let me know what you want to talk about. I am going to pour this. I'm very, very excited about this. So this past Saturday, I had the great fortune of being asked to MC the Down Syndrome Awareness Group of Baton Rouge Buddy Walk. Great event. Amazing turnout. They were hoping for maybe 500 people. 1,200 people showed up. They raised more than $100,000 for the Down Syndrome Awareness Group, which is awesome. And as a thank you, because everybody knows I drink whiskey, they gave me this. Now, if you've been a fan of any of the content for a while or in my whiskey stuff, you know I'm a huge fan of Kentucky Owl from Bardstown, Kentucky. It was bought by Stoli, but enormously fast-growing brand. Amazing. I love the Kentucky Owl. The batch 2 of their 10-year rye is my favorite whiskey ever. And Kentucky Owl's bourbon is great. I just love this brand. They do so much good stuff. Well, anyway, this was their St. Patrick's edition, and they gifted me a bottle of this as a thank you for emceeing the Buddy Walk. So I was like, well, I know when I'm opening this. I'm opening it here with my good friends on Nightcap. So we're gonna go ahead and hear what the Angels think, and so you can all see me do it here. See what the Angels think about it. And then, let's see, you ready? There we go, ready? See if y'all can hear. It's like a mixture between Fergie and Jesus. So good. All right, let's get a little pour here, y'all. That's what we call a healthy pour. Okay, so we are at, it's 100 proof. It's the long-standing connection between American and Irish whiskey makers, Louis McGuane, Irish whiskey bonder, and John Ray, the master blender. So this is a blend, an exceptional limited release. We are going to give it a go. So we'll see how it goes, and we will certainly let you know. So, okay. Hope everybody did okay with the weather today. I know the weather sucked. I will go ahead and mention Hudco. We've already been inundated with calls, etc. If you had high wind, if you had roof damage, shingles peeling or missing, please don't wait. Call us. Go to the website. I've pinned the Hudco link there in the comments, both on Facebook and on YouTube. So y'all holler at us. Even if you had a claim denied for Ida and you were in the path of that weather today, it's a reset for insurance. It's a new date reset, so it's worth getting that inspection again now. So give us a shout at Hudco. Okay. Brady Beacom, what's up? Jeff McKiffin, good evening. Charlie Gale, Mark Vatanovich, can the Pelicans win tonight? Oh yeah, Pelicans are a 14.5-point favorite in this ball game tonight. Not only can they win, they will win. No Dame Lillard, no Trendon Watford, no nobody. Todd Graffinini told us on AFR today that the Blazers starting five tonight, none of them were in the lineup when they opened the season. So Portland is in full-on tank mode. Blake Oob, what's good? Kyle Taylor, what's good? How about that? Congrats on the Scone and Tea news. So, if you missed it, Scone and Tea has been picked up by Oliver Twist in Baton Rouge. Great restaurant bar. So, on Wednesday evenings, we will be doing Scone and Tea live from Oliver Twist. However you watch Whiskey and Wine, you will be able to watch Scone and Tea. So, on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, on the 1045 ESPN Facebook page. We will be live Wednesday evenings, or if you want to come join us at Oliver Twist, come on. Jason Austin, what's good? Aaron Hornsby, what's up? Mark, do you need Final Four tickets for Saturday in New Orleans? Hey, man, that's a tough ticket if you got them, man. Sam Lemoyne's got a little 1800 tequila all right now. Blake Goob drinking water at the job. All right, Jeremy Hoskins, I love it. A little High West Rendezvous rye, one of my favorites. Are the Pels going to make the playoffs? Absolutely. Aaron Hornsby, Craig Dugan. Craig, I missed the general. It's okay, Craig. It's going to be okay, I promise. Chris Cole. Let's see. Craig Dugan, Kentucky Owl acts like their shit don't stink. Price point is way off, in my opinion. It depends, Craig. I'll tell you that the Kentucky Owl 11-year rye, the Batch 2, is my favorite whiskey of all time. I'd gladly pay $200 for it. We did a unicorn flight at Christmas 2 years ago, and someone brought their bourbon, and it held up with all of the super rare releases that were on the that were in the mix as well. So I think it's fantastic. Josh Bergeron, Matt, love the show Wednesday night. Help me close up my hump day. Love listening to you close up my evening. Thank you, Josh. Well, next Wednesday you'll be listening to me and T-Bob. Ooh. That smells like double mint gum. Y'all know that double mint gum? Usually a rye will smell like what's that you remember that cinnamon gum where you could eat the wrapper? Was it like Cinnaburst? Was that it? Big red like that. This smells like double mint gum. Excited to get into this. Ooh, that's magnificent. That is sweet and minty on the palate. Nice long finish. 100 proof, full body. I like that a lot. Oh, I like that a lot. That nose is very pleasant. It's like sniffing double mint gum. Erica, come smell this. Tell me if you smell mint, like double mint gum.
When you talk about this, it just sounds.
I love it.
It just sounds funny to me.
Well, you sound funny to me.
The word palate. I don't like the word palate. Why'd you take that picture of Drew down?
To put up the Gamecoin logo.
This stinks.
You stink. Get out of here. Get out.
Nice.
Get out.
Not very nice.
Get out. Be gone with you. Be gone. Get out of here. Hey, you. Ah! So I say to Drew all the time. He laughs. He thinks it's hilarious. Jason Aguilar, New Orleans found their starting quarterback, Andy Dalton. Get out of here. You get out of here. All right, let's see. Holler at my YouTube peeps. Appreciate y'all for being here as always, man. Y'all smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. We appreciate you greatly. Well, where's comments? Where's my YouTube comments? Hang on. I'm going to hit the reset here, see if I can get them back. Working on it, y'all. Okay, here we go. All right. Aaron Hornsby, Trivia Carter, the classy show. This guy's name is Your Mom is Fat. PH. Strong side, Raymond, what's up? Little Sam Houston 15, all right. Joey B19 is the Florida series a moment at the end of the season. We'll look back and say that's where it all turned around. Maybe Joey B19, and I hope so, but realistically, there are ebbs and flows in baseball. It's just the nature of the sport. Like, I'll put it to you this way. We lose sight of this, but LSU was tied with Texas A&M in games 1 and 2 going into the 9th inning. Both those games were tied, and they blew it the 9th. So they were this close from winning that series. Now, they were also this close from being swept. So the margin is very thin, and I don't know if we'll say that's where it turned around. I hope. Go out and convincingly beat Auburn at home this weekend, and I'm pretty excited. And then next week, you're going to the dude. I mean, you're going to Starkville. No Bednar for Mississippi State. Unfortunate, he had the arm injury. But that becomes a more winnable series now. But let me see. I still think LSU's major bugaboo is the fact that I don't think they have the starting pitching to be a championship team this year. But can they slug their way into and through the postseason? I think it's going to be interesting. USMC Mike, what's up? Casey Smith, Nicholas Cantrell, Smoke Wagon, yes sir. Hoodie Jube, what's good, man? Good to chat with you earlier this week. Joseph Armato, strong side. All right, going to be at the box with your son this weekend. Greg T's got him an ice cold beer. Excited about the Gamecoin news you have to share. I'm excited to tell you about it coming up in a little bit, Greg. Von Bluesman. Let's see, Colts are making noise that they want Tyron Mathieu. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want Tyron Mathieu. But, Tyron is ultimately going to be able to look at what situation best suits him. And I don't know that for Tyron right now it's solely a money play. But I'm sure there are going to be spots where he has options. Malcolm Jenkins retiring today. Talked about this a little bit on AFR if you missed it, but I think the Saints' options at safety, if you stay in-house, you could certainly move C.D. Deuce back to safety, and you could play Bradley Roby at nickel. And so that way your outside corners are Lattimore, Adebo, your nickel is Roby, and your safeties are C.D. Deuce and Marcus May. Those are your 5 best defensive backs. They'd all be on the field at the same time. And then you'd have Salerson, and you'd have and then you'd have P.J. Williams as well. I said Sorensen, excuse me. Daniel Sorensen, excuse me. I was thinking Salerson does the content creation for the Pelicans. Daniel Salerson? Anyway, you could also move PJ back to safety, although he's never played in the box. Or you could go sign someone from the outside. And I think that's your best option, quite honestly. Are we still live there? On the YouTube? Okay, there we go. We're good. I was behind on my video. Okay, here we go. Wrapping batches, Brett Dagro, little E.H. Taylor. Would love to find a barrel proof or a rye bottle. The E.H. Taylor barrel proof that I have, the uncut unfiltered, is magnificent. It's by a mile the best E.H. Taylor I've had. By a mile. King David, what's good? Chances of Mathieu coming to New Orleans. I think they're good. Over the cap, or is it Spotrac, has his market value at $14.8 million. The Saints could afford that. The slot value for their draft picks is $3.8 million. They currently have 21 in cap space, so you figure 21 less 4, $17 million to spend. They could afford Tyron. The Saints could afford Tyron Mathieu, absolutely. Cliff Nelson, what's good? Amanda Rome, Robbie White. Matt, do you think Hudco would ever add roof cleaning to its suite of services? Robbie, we do, as a matter of fact. Mentioned that a while back. We partnered with Bayou State Soft Wash, and we do now offer roof, not just roof cleaning, but roof, whole home, and all of your hardscape. So yes, we do that. As a matter of fact, if you go to HudcoRoofing.com and you request a roof cleaning, we will absolutely do that for you. Yes. Raymond, Matt, is this a companion show for the Pelicans? It's not, unfortunately, Raymond. We are Cox subscribers. Yes, we still have cable. So I have Bally Sports New Orleans. But in this room, I don't have a Cox hookup. So I'm on a smart TV in here, and there is no Bally Sports app. So that kind of sucks. So I can't watch it. I mean, I guess I could go like to the browser and type in Bally Sports New Orleans or something like that, but it would take me a while to punch it all in right now, and I'm just going to focus more on the show than doing that. So I'll just follow along with the Gamecast. Oh, you know what I could do? I could do it on here. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Muted. Okay, there, got it going. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Kyle Taylor poured some Dr. Pepper paired with a Foundation Cigar Tabernacle Havana seed. Okay, North Carolina in the 60s. North Carolina in the house. What's up, man? Jason Aguilar, what's going on? Jason Austin, any news on A&M tight end hitting the transfer portal? Will LSU recruit? LSU needs a tight end. Brian Kelly told you that point blank. I think they're absolutely going to be in the market for a tight end, if not now, certainly after spring. Yes. Tyler Alexander, what's good? Thoughts on Hilliard moving to Sunday guy, Dutton Taylor moving to Saturday. I don't think, Tyler, that it's going to be something where it's set in stone in a given week. I really think that Jason Kelly and Jay Johnson are going to look at their opponent and how the matchups may work. It may be that in a given week, Blake Money is going to be your better option on Saturday. Like, I legit think that that's a possibility that they may look at moving forward in certain weeks. I just don't think you're going to see this year where you know every week who Friday, Saturday, Sunday is, or games 1, 2, 3. So, by the way, there is some asshole who's posting in Facebook as Gamecoin. That is a spam account. Do not follow them. Make sure that if you're following a Gamecoin account, it is the official Gamecoin account that has more than 3,000 followers on it on Facebook. Please, if Gamecoin is never going to ask you for anything, never going to ask you for a wallet address. We're never going to say, hey, congratulations, you won all this crypto. It's crap. Do not believe it. If you see it on there, report them. It's a scam. I want to find that person, strangle them, and beat their head against the wall. Yes, that's aggressive. I don't care. That's just kind of me. I'd like to do that right now. Tyler McClendon, had Harold Perkins been involved in anything? How he's looking? Yeah, man, the linebacker rotation. Listen, here's what I'll tell you. Spring football, you're not going to work out position battles in spring. And honestly, we recorded Scone and T today, and T-Bob made a good point. And I told him that. I was like, I will lean on you for this because it's one thing which is a super rarity where you actually have a level of expertise that I could ask you a question and you can have a believable opinion on it. And it was the value of spring. And his point was something we'd all understand, which is if you have a more veteran team, then spring is more just like, stretch out your legs, so to speak. But if you have a young team, spring is an opportunity not to win position battles, but to declare pole position for fall camp. So you could go through spring and guys aren't going to win a starting job, but you would basically in your performance in spring have the right to start fall camp with the ones. So, when you look at it right now, Micah Baskerville is going to be one of your starting linebackers. They really like Greg Penn. I think Greg Penn, Mike Jones have great opportunities. They're trying Ojulari at outside backer, almost like a stand-up back, which I like a lot in that role. So they're going to find it. They're going to find it. Let's see. Craig Duga, is it thin? I recently had Wise Man Bourbon by Kentucky Out. It fell flat. This is not thin, no. I happen to find it minty, refreshing, not overpowering. It's 100 proof. The finish is just fine. If you want something that is super bold, this ain't it. But it's blended with Irish whiskey as well, so you're not going to get something that's overpowering. Like if you want Kentucky bourbon, that's not going to be it for sure. But I like this a lot. I'm telling you, that tastes like double mint gum. I like it a lot. Brad Jones, Cade Galt, little old elk. All right, Chance Babin. Love seeing Tyron Mathieu talk to the LSU team. Did y'all see my tweet earlier today? By the way, thank you, 117 watching there on YouTube, 68 here on Facebook. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Thank you for being here. If you're new, I will stay here for as long as y'all ask questions or as long as we're talking. So sometimes Nightcap goes like 2 hours. So if you're patient with me, I'm going to get to all of your comments. So thank you for that. I tweeted earlier today when I saw the picture of Tyrann talking to the team. It was crazy because that's in the LSU team room in football ops. And that's where Les Miles held his press conference when he announced Tyron Mathieu had been kicked off the team. And I was sitting in the room, front row on the right, facing the front on the right side, and it was just, we were flabbergasted. I mean, we were all expecting to hear suspension, game or two. Nobody was anticipating Tyrann was getting kicked off the team. And to think about how far we've come in 10 years from him getting kicked off the team to then being arrested, to then going to live with the Petersons, to rehabilitating his image, life, being drafted by the Cardinals in the 3rd round, going to Arizona, going through an ACL tear, becoming an all-pro, becoming one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. It's amazing. It's an astonishing comeback story. Rebecca Griffin, Chance Babin, what's up? Sean McKinnon coming in late. Little Oak Point Eagle Rare. Nice. Little store pick. Eagle Rare store pick. That's fantastic. Will Kamara face league punishment for his arrest? Absolutely. I mean, Sean, that is a no-doubter. I mean, it's an automatic. He's going to look at a suspension because of the nature of the arrest. So, yes, I would think you're probably looking at 6 games. What kind of deal can the Saints offer Tyrann? They can certainly. I told you what over the cap projected, which was $14.8 million as his market value. So they can absolutely afford that. And remember, you can do a team-friendly deal that's backloaded if you need to for cap purposes. But they can afford Tyrann. Chase Pellicrin, does Hudco travel to Covington? Absolutely. Grammy has a roof after the weather we had this evening. Absolutely. Chase, do me a favor. If you want to act on or help your Grammy, click the link. I'm telling you the best way to do this. I have it pinned. Click the link, fill out the contact form. That gets you automatically put into our system so you will not fall between the cracks. and it's also like a placeholder. So yes, please, we will absolutely go to Covington. We will literally go anywhere in the state. Our North office handles everything Alexandria North. Our Baton Rouge office handles everything below below Alexandria, excuse me. So yes, we will go to the North Shore. We'll go to New Orleans. We'll go to Lafayette, Lake Charles. We'll go all over the state. So yes, absolutely, we'd be happy to help. Let's see. Have you tried American Ace? I have not, Brad. Sean, second comment. Can you rant a little more about your boy T. Smith re-signing with the Saints? Love it when you go off the rails. Much love. I mean, y'all feel me on that though, right? With Traquan, like y'all feel me on that. I mean, he was a 3rd round pick. Do you realize what the Saints have done with their 3rd round picks over the years? From Tyron Armstead and Alvin Kamara and Trey Hendrickson. I mean, they have slated in the 3rd round. Like, that's the expectation you have when you draft Traquan Smith, is to be a guy. And it's so disappointing that in the year, which was his contract year, last year was his contract year. Like, go ball out and get paid, son. Go ball out, have a year, and get your bag. And what Traquan and Mike Thomas is hurt, so it only magnified the importance, the need. Like, his team needed him to be a dude. 3rd round pick, big body, wheels, like, now in your 4th year, go do it, son. Like, go get it. And what happened? Limps his ass around all season, doesn't do jack shit, and lets a couple of undrafted free agents pimp slap it. Thank God for Marquez Callaway and Deontay Hardy. I mean, Traquan, what a joke. Bye. Dustin Blanchard, what's good? Hoodie Jew, who dat? Thoughts on the Malcolm Jenkins retirement? Yeah, man, talked about it on AFR today. Not surprised when they reworked his contract. It's basically what they did last year with Drew, right? When Drew reworked his contract basically to the league minimum, he won't go play for the league minimum, but it was ultimately a way to help the team with the cap when he was going to retire anyway. So it won't be formal, I guess, until, June 1, but when he files paperwork. But yeah, man, not surprising. Not surprised to see it. 13 years in the league, he was just ready. So good for him, man. Good for him. The Saints got options. Amanda Rome, top 3 rides that you enjoy. So Amanda, if we're talking like top shelf, I told you my Kentucky Owl 10-year rye batch 2, which was actually aged 11 years. I think that's my favorite rye I've ever had. I will tell you that, I mean, whoops, ooh. No. This is a little bit cheating, Amanda. The BTAC, the Sazerac 17, I'm sorry, the Sazerac 18, excuse me. The Sazerac 18-year BTAC is absolutely on that list as well. I probably might overtake it, but that's almost unrealistic. And I would probably tell you Whistle Pig 18. If I had to go for like my top shelf ryes, those would probably be my 3 top shelf ryes. If you're going for like everyday ryes that you could find anywhere, Sazerac, I would go like under $40. Sazerac rye, I'd go High West double rye, and I think Pinhook. There's some people who would say like, I know Taylor's mentioned Knob Creek before, and Pinhook makes a good $30 rye. But honestly, I would take Sazerac, High West double rye, and I would throw. Just make sure there's not something I'm missing. Yeah, probably my that Pinhook rye in there. All right. Get Cliff Nelson on that smoke wagon. Coy Nicholson, let's talk Gamecoin. All right, I'll tell you some Gamecoin news. So Tuesday, there was a 2-hour Zoom with our developer who's putting together the wireframes. Realistically, after changes are made, etc., that part could be ready within 2 weeks. Once that is finished, the smart contract developer out in San Diego, their part will probably take another 2 to 3 weeks after that. Even if you double that timeline and you say 4 to 6, you're literally talking within 2 months. Platform should be 100% live and functional, completely operational, about 2 months. So we're here in beginning of April. I mean, you're talking June, July. Back end is a realistic possibility to be fully launched, operational, and that is so bleeping exciting, y'all. It looks awesome. Y'all saw the DeMario Davis news last week. You know, I'm not going to disclose the terms of the DeMario Davis deal, but suffice to say that he did a deal that was very contingent upon Gamecoin hitting big because he believed in the mission, the vision, the platform, all of it. So exciting. We have had high-level investor calls. I can't go too deep into the details of all this, but just understand that, like, when Gamecoin pumped in the fall, it got a lot of people's attention. And those people weren't necessarily, I mean, people heavy involved in the crypto space. They were not so much moved by the price drop because everybody saw what happened. Now there's fucking morons who are like, hey man, it's a rug pull, y'all stole my money. Fuck you, you're an idiot. Nobody stole your money, asshole. It's nervous people who had never invested into crypto before that got nervous with the smart contract change. They pulled their money, whatever. I mean, it's, if you believe in the utility, the long-term vision platform, like, you're committed. Anyway, and everybody saw that, but what they said was, we want to see it launch. We want to see it work. And as we get closer to that, so many of those conversations are re-engaging. And man, that's exciting. Like, the amount of people who are influential in crypto space, people who are influencers who believe in crypto, on the athlete and on the entertainment side who have come to the table is just really, really exciting. We will have an AMA on Friday. So with me and David Mailer, our second AMA, Friday, 10 a.m. on the Gamecoin YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed up yet to the Gamecoin YouTube channel, do it 10 a.m. Friday, AMA with David Mailer. So you can ask David, founder, CEO of Gamecoin, anything you want about the project. That's this Friday, 10 a.m. Fired up. Trey Haydet, what's good, man? Thanks for the Hudco info and fast response. Amazing. You got it, Trey. So Trey lives in Tangipahoa in the Ponchatoula area. Shot me a text on the show text line earlier. Said, hey, man, got an issue after this weather today. I sent him the contact link for Hudco. Said, send it. I'll let our CMs know right now. He sent it. Boom. We had somebody. As a matter of fact, it was Rodney Beloso. You know Cade Beloso? Cade Beloso's dad, Rodney, is on our team with Hudco. Rodney called Trey within minutes. So we're on it, y'all. We're staffed up, ready to roll. If you had an issue with your roof due to this weather, give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, it's pinned, hudcoroofing.com, it's pinned right there. Jordan Commander picked up some chicken cock today just for tonight. Good on you, bro. Mark D, is Johnny Walker Rye worth buying? I don't know, Mark, I've never had it. Never had it. Von Bluesman, I don't drink booze, but I used to love the smell of whiskey in football stadiums on a cold winter night. You darn right. Merrick Betherne, thoughts on Bruce Arians going to the front office? Interesting. So they promote Todd Bowles. I mean, Todd Bowles has been a head coach before, but so did Bruce Arians. I think if you have Tom Brady, it's all that really matters. But Todd Bowles is a respected guy, you know. I wonder how much Arians, I hate to say it this way, but actually did. I mean, they weren't too hot until Tom Brady rode into town on his white horse. So Anyway. Nicholas Cantrell, how drunk will T-Bob be for the Scone and T show? Great question, Nicholas. I'm curious because unlike on Saturdays where it's a night after a day full of drinking for T-Bob, you're talking about a Wednesday night where T-Bob has to be on air Thursday at 7 a.m. So a little bit different. Kyle, Matt, now that Taysom will be full-time at tight end, do you think he can really develop into one of those better tight ends in the league? Okay, I want to be clear about something. When Dennis Allen said tight end, if you actually go listen to his quote, he said like the F position. So it's basically the role Taysom was playing. He's not going to be Gronk. He's going to be what Taysom was. Sometimes he'll have his hand in the dirt. Sometimes he'll be in motion. Sometimes he'll be the H-back. Sometimes he'll catch passes. Sometimes he'll block. He'll probably still run some wildcat. Like he's just going back to the role he was in. That's all he was saying. It was not he's going to be Kelsey. He's saying he's just not going to play quarterback, was what he was saying. I think he's going to be very good at the role that he's good at. Charles Bouquet, or Bouquet. Good evening, Matt. Little Cooper's Craft 100. Excited where LSU sports is headed the next few years. I agree with you, man. Cortland, does that say something that Tampa did elevate Leftwich? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think they elevated a coach that already has had coaching experience. Jeremiah Hartle, what's up? Noah, since Jenkins retired, is that lock back up the third compensatory? So to be very clear, no, but the NFL's compensatory pick formula is pretty guarded and nobody knows exactly what it is, but it has more to do with losing your free agents. So when Tyrann Armstead signed with Miami, the Saints essentially, according to best guess formulas, would have gained a third or fourth round compensatory pick by losing Tyrann Armstead. Now, when they signed Andy Dalton, because he was a qualified free agent, supposedly it's going to offset that gain. Unless if they lose another qualified free agent like P.J. Williams, for example. So somebody come on and sign P.J. The GOAT. Good evening, Matt. Will you be at LSU's practice Saturday? What do you expect Brian Kelly to do with the remaining scholarships? Saturday is the St. Jude School Fair. And Erica works at St. Jude, and it's a big day for that whole community, and I'm supposed to bring Drew out there. So while I'm very excited about the LSU practice, which the media is allowed to attend in its entirety, all 2 hours, by the way, the whole practice, I probably will not be in attendance. Anyway. Remaining scholarships, I asked Brian Kelly that question at his pre-spring press conference. He said tight end, offensive line. They're not done there. You're going to lose guys, no doubt. But remember, they brought in Kyron Lacey as well from ULL. So even though they got a lot of numbers, I think, he was willing to add more. He being Brian Kelly was willing to add more. So be curious. Kurt Elgin, what's up, man? Been a minute. Greetings from Jackson, Mississippi. Up there for work. All right, man. Alex Day, Matt, got some Weller Special Reserve. Where do you think Tiger baseball team ends up this year? So, and good to see you, Alex. Alex does a good job, man. See him pop up on Twitter. Does a lot of LSU baseball content as well. Y'all are interested in Alex's stuff. So, Alex, I don't think this team is a national seed. I just think they don't have the pitching. Could they potentially slug their way to that? Sure. They got a great lineup. And I don't know that the SEC is wrought with dominant arms this year. You just don't see a ton of Doug Nikhazy, Kumar Rocker or Jack Leiter. You know what I mean? The league just isn't overrun with those guys this year. So maybe it might be a year where an offensive heavy team can make that kind of run. Maybe. But I'm just going on history, and typically you got to have dominant frontline pitching, and they just don't have that this year. So, but I think they can be a top 16. I think they could be a regional host site. I think that's a realistic goal, to win a regional at home, host a regional, win it, and see if you can find a favorable matchup somewhere in a super, and see if you can win a weekend. That'd be awesome. Brandon Reese, what's good? Cortland Jacob here in the Brennan is still slinging it. Dude's got a great arm, no doubt. Jeremiah Hardell, the Hudco Jingle. All right, you know what? Ask, and you shall receive. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you.
Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone, Ontario.
All you need is Hudco.
Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! Call Hudco Roofing!
364-1007.
All right, what's up, Drew? Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. You guys darn right, HudcoRoofing.com. You come on back now, Drew. Anytime you're ready. What? Let's see. Josh Bergeron, Matt, what do you think about Justice Hill? Who else do you think LSU get in the transfer portal? So, look, man, real talk here. So you mentioned Kenneth Lofton from Tech. He did a number on LSU this year. I know he's in the portal. I think he's actually testing the draft waters. But if he wants to come down and play at LSU, come on. Justice Hill from Murray State is a dude. I mean, he is your starting point guard and probably your leading scorer. He averaged 13 and 5 this year at Murray State. That's a dude. I mean, that's a dude. I think there's only 3 more scholarship players from LSU this year that haven't declared their intention. Alex Fudge, Efton Reed, and Eric Gaines. And I think all of them will leave. So I think Matt McMahon is going to have to completely make over this roster. And it's not going to look good. I think he front loads the non-conference with absolute layups, like Kim Mulkey did this year, to get her team some feel good after they won just 9 games a year ago. I think Matt McMahon's going to have to do that. You're probably not going to the postseason anyway. So front load it with a bunch of rental wins, see if you can win some games, get some confidence, and see what happens when conference play rolls around. Jason Kimball, is Jaden Daniels that good of a quarterback? Also not a big drinker. I don't have that taste for it, but Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey is on point. So I'm not super into flavored whiskeys, Jason. So like Tennessee Honey wouldn't really be my thing. But to each their own, for sure. And is Jaden Daniels that good? Absolutely. I mean, Jaden Daniels was a top 50 player in the country when he signed. I mean, he basically, his freshman year, knocked Oregon out of the college football playoff when he beat him at Arizona State. When he's on point, he's a dude. Curious what would have happened there with no COVID year. And they essentially had no receiver help this year. You let him sling it with this group of receivers he's got, he's going to put up numbers, brother. He is going to put up numbers. Chase Pellegrin, USA is going to the World Cup. Awesome. I don't really care, but cool. I love the USA, so anything that's good for the USA, I'm for it. Googe, what's good, man? Widow Jane's Decadence Maple Syrup Barrel Finish. So, thank you, Chris Googe. Great point as well. Willet Rye is... Willet Rye... I'm not big on Willet Pot still, but I'm glad you brought up Willet Rye. I actually killed a bottle of Willet Rye on Saturday. I think I have another bottle in storage. I know I have another bottle in storage. Hang on. Yep. closed. Good call, Googe. Good call, brother. Willet Rye. Awesome. Tastes like peppermint. Phenomenal rye whiskey. Very affordable. Not always easy to find, but Willet Rye is amazing. Good call, Googe. Good call. Googe and I have done a few whiskey swaps over the years. Great dude. To my guy Googe. By the way, also shout out to my guys at the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. David Steele and the gang. Great organization. Annual membership dues, $50. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. Great opportunity to buy their barrel picks. Get great samples, discounts at a lot of different retailers, and they raise a ton of money for great charities like Toys for Tots and others. So would highly recommend it to anybody. Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. Just go to their website. I think it's bourbonbr.com and join. Would highly recommend it. Googe, Pelicans minus 16.5, not looking good so far. Well, I'm not going to say the NBA doesn't start till the second half, but if you're going to getting down early is the way to do it because you have 3 quarters remaining. And we saw it against the Lakers the other night. Okay. Smash that like button. 121 there on YouTube, 68 likes. Let's see if we can get that over 100. Appreciate y'all. 50 here on Facebook. Love y'all. Like the page, share the post. Of course, brought to you by Hudco, by Gamecoin, thegamecoin.net, thegamecoin.net, mycleanliving.net. NASA technology in their air purifiers proven to eliminate dozens of harmful pathogens, mycleanliving.net. And, of course, my girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. Do you have pain? You have pain? You live with pain? I did for a long time. Neck, back, all of it. Chronic, awful. Until I met Crystal Poche. Unbelievable. Book a session. RestoredMotions.com. Open your mind. RestoredMotions.com. Chance, LSU doesn't have dominant pitching. The errors make it worse. True, but then Chance, when you score 11 runs on Sunday, you forget about Barry kicking a ball at third and Thompson kicking a ball at second. Jared Flyleague, Scott, been a minute since I heard the Hudco Hustle. Well, if you were here for Morning Scone every day, you'd hear it. Clifford Moore, what's good? Let's see. Brandon, good evening. How's he rocking Drew? I'll see if she wants to come by and say hello in a bit. I think she's putting Drew to sleep right now. Robbie White, Matt, here's my LSU football. Mount Rushmore, okay. The Mount Rushmore topic is, well, in sports radio circles, the Mount Rushmore thing is it's like a lazy sports radio topic. So people kind of laugh at the Mount Rushmore thing. But anyway, Burrow, Matthew, Dorsey, Falk. Well, if you don't have Billy Cannon, then you're just wrong. First Heisman Trophy winner, until Burrow, greatest player in the history of the program. Like, he has to be on it. Like, Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow are the two musts. Everything other than that is debatable. Brandon Reese, what's good? Matt, what are the chances several Murray State players follow me? Man, very good. You already have one with Justice Hill. I mean, their whole team's in the portal right now, too, and I think a lot of them will end up here. Opportunity, even though they won't have the opportunity to play in the postseason, opportunity to step up, play against Power 5 competition, better gauge for scouts. Strong side, you buying into the Volunteers baseball team. So, strong side, I think Tennessee has the same issue LSU does in that they don't have dominant pitching, but they're smashing the baseball. And they've won some games convincingly. I do also think, I know, their park is a bandbox. And once they get into a bigger park like at TD Ameritrade, they're going to have trouble. But I feel better about Tennessee if they had a frontline ace. Same as I would with LSU, same as I would with Arkansas. Like if Peyton Paulette hadn't blown out, I'd feel much better about Arkansas. If Bednar hadn't blown out, I'd feel much better about Mississippi State. If Javen Coleman hadn't blown out, I'd feel much better about LSU. Not saying he'd be your Friday night guy, but he could be a dominant lefty, which they don't have right now. Let's see. Eric Waterwater, following Gamecoin's charitable donations was one of the best things about owning GME. Seems like that's cooled a bit. Anything you could say on future plans there? Absolutely. So, Eric, every transaction, every Gamecoin transaction, a buy, a sell, or a trade, there's a 7% fee. 5% of that fee goes into a charity wallet. 2% goes back to wallet holders. So if you own Gamecoin, you will notice every day your amount of Gamecoin that you own increases every day, the longer you hold it. The charity wallet is still completely active. So 5% of every transaction goes into the charity wallet. Obviously, there's been fewer transactions, but there's still money there. And so, if you go to the website, there is a spot to submit requests for donations. We have a board member who I don't know if this person wants their name public, which is fine, based out of Las Vegas, who vets all of the charitable submissions and then presents them to the board for a vote if they're paid out. And there are many that are paid out. You've seen a lot of those. The most recent one was a week ago where, so every athlete ambassador that we do a deal with, part of their contract is that we will make a donation to the children's charity of their choice. Matt Corral, we did his donation a week ago. So if you go look at our social media, you'll see it there. So Frankie Batto, one of the co-founders, went to Oxford and was there with Matt Corral to make the donation to the charity of his choice in Oxford, Mississippi. So still very much active there as well. Robbie White, Matt, wasn't able to catch AFR, but have you seen the post by Big Baby poo-pooing the Matt McMahon hire? What was that about? I did not. I'm really not interested in anything Glenn Davis has to say at all. Like literally nothing. Gregory Flitter, thoughts on Noble? Oh, good. Little light. Not a huge fan, but good. Taz, what's up? Late to the party. Man or second bring torn apart? Secondaries being torn apart. No. Oh, you're talking about the Saints. Taz, I disagree. So, Taz, if you missed it, what I said earlier is your starting secondary could look like this. Lattimore, Adebo, Roby is the nickel, CD Deuce, Marcus May as your safeties. It's a pretty good secondary. I keep saying Solerson. Sorensen. I keep wanting to say Salerson. Sorensen. Sorensen, PJ as backups. I like it. I think they're fine, but I think they'll still go add someone. They're still going to add another safety. Typical gamer, other than Tyron, who else do you think coming in the Saints in free agency? I don't know that there is anyone else, quite honestly. Unless they want to go bargain shopping, and I don't know who that would be. I would rather put CD Deuce back there. I don't know if there's anybody that's a better option than putting CD Deuce back there. Brandon, unbelievable amount of people I've encountered saying Traquan is a beast. Traquan sucks. He sucks. The fact that Marquez Callaway last year had a better season than any of Traquan's 4 years in the NFL is a fucking joke. Traquan is a joke. If he were an undrafted free agent and he was just a contributor, okay. He's a third-round pick in a contract year last year. Kick rocks. He sucks. No thanks. Go be somebody else's problem. Jordan Commander, how does Malcolm retiring affect our cap? Malcolm, remember, restructured his deal the same way that Drew Brees did. The same way that Drew Brees restructured his contract before he retired. So dead money remains on the cap, but I don't know if let's see. So Malcolm has $7.9 million of dead cap this year and $3.9 next year, so negligible. So post 6-1, 3.9 this year and 3.9 next year, so negligible. Not much. Let's see. Joey B19, Matt, even you got to admit, everything being reported out of spring ball about the new players is encouraging. So, All right, I want to point this out, okay? Going into the 2020 season, your head football coach said, and I quote, "Our defense is so much better right now than at any point a year ago." Ended up being literally the worst defense in the history of the program. Okay? They're practicing without pads against each other. Anything you try to extrapolate right now to draw any type of long-term conclusion outside of just culture, vibe, energy, all that stuff, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Again, I'm not saying they're going to be 5-7. I'm not saying they're going to be terrible. What I'm telling you is you had 39 scholarship players January the 4th. You added 17 mid-year enrollees just to get your numbers back up. It's just not going to be great this year. That's okay. I don't expect it to be great. But they're going to be better than they were last year. All right, y'all, hang on. All right, David Went, Matt, congratulations on the deal with Oliver Twist. Nice. That being said, thoughts of moving Nightcap Thursday since your Wednesday will be very busy. Yeah, so David, I don't know what I'm going to do, man, quite honestly. So if you missed it, made an announcement today. So T-Bob and I have done the Scone and T podcast now. We started during football season. We did it twice a week. We've carried it on occasionally here through the football off season. And Oliver Twist, which is a great spot in Baton Rouge, best whiskey selection in town by a mile. They have literally everything. They bought the show to do it on site in the same way that we kind of do whiskey and wine. So it will do the podcast live on Wednesday nights at Oliver Twist. So I'll get off AFR and I'll jet over to Oliver Twist and we'll do Scone and Tea there live. And we will stream it live on just the same way we stream whiskey and wine. Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube and the 104.5 ESPN Facebook page. So you can listen or watch on demand at any time, but you can also listen or watch live or come join us live at Oliver Twist. And that is going to be every Wednesday moving forward. Me and T-Bob every Wednesday. I'm not going to be doing Nightcap next Wednesday. There's no way. There's no way I can go do my 3-hour radio show, leave there, go straight to Oliver Twist, do that show, and then come home and see my family and be like, great, not seeing you all day. Now I'm going to go do another 2-hour show. So I don't know what I'm going to do with Nightcap. I don't know what will become of Nightcap. This may be our last Nightcap together. I don't know. Let's see, Tribe, I like Matt, but nighttime with E-Rock would be 10 million times better. I agree with you, Tribe. Travis Young, with Bruce Arians retiring, Tom Brady will still be the QBOC. True. Taz, are you surprised Arians retired all of a sudden? A little bit, yeah. I'm a little surprised he did. I think they'll be fine, though. Cortland, I think LSU has about 4 Thursday baseball games and no Wednesday games. That may be enough to keep it on Wednesday. Yeah, all the midweeks are on Tuesdays. They do play a couple of Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Strong Adams is here for the Hudco hat. Ronnie Duga, what's up, man? Sorry if this was asked. Will Nightcap live after the news today? Great question. I just kind of addressed that. Thomas Frazier, love the Daily LSU podcast, listening from Nevada. Thank you, man. That's LSU Daily. Would highly recommend anybody subscribe up. Appreciate you for listening there, Thomas. Robert Cooley, Ronnie Duke, Cooper Zarance. Hey, man, how are you doing tonight? Love the channel and Saints News. Keep it up. Thank you, Coop. Very kind of you. Appreciate that. Trey Guy, what's good? Travis Young, Brian Robinson to visit the Saints. Where do you see him being drafted? I don't think there's a first-round running back. I think Kenneth Walker will be the first running back off the board in round 2. I think after that, it's really a cluster of Brian Robinson, Kyron Williams, Isaiah Spiller, Breece Hall, in whatever order that teams may value them. That all could be second or third round guys, and I think the Saints will take one of them somewhere in that mix. I would love to see the Saints get Kyron Williams in round 3. Keith H., what's good? Digging the orange Hudco shirt? Couldn't miss you on the roof. Dang right. Hudco. Pinned in the comments, by the way. If you or someone you know, family member, friend, co-worker, neighbor, had any issues with this weather here tonight or last week, give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. It is pinned there in the comments. Fill out the contact form. We will be in touch pronto. Hudcoroofing.com, hudcoroofing.com. Look at CJ McCullough. Back against his old squad. Pels trail about 3 at the half. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. Chance Babin, LSU basketball has hired a coach from Memphis and former assistant 208 to VCU. Clifford Moore, Tony Williams, Frankie Cassiopo. Good evening, Matt. Do you think Tyrann was in town to speak with LSU or is in town to meet with the Saints? I think he's in town to speak with LSU. I mean, LSU sent the plane to pick him up, and they got him set up, I'm sure, at Lod Cook, and he's been around campus all day, so I think that's why he's here. Stephen Fry, move Nightcap to Thirsty Thursdays. We'll be there. I appreciate it, man. It's good to know it's an option that y'all want to hang out. We'll see. Kevin Banta, when Milazzo comes back offensively, that hurts. Thoughts? I don't think so. I mean, Stravinsky and McManus both have home run power, but what y'all forget is that Milazzo was actually having productive outs. I don't think any of those guys are going to hit 300 ever, but give me the elite defensive option behind the plate that can manage my pitching staff over the guy that's going to hit 200 and occasionally knock one out of the yard. I've got plenty of offense in this lineup. Not to say that I don't want more offense, but an elite glove at a premium defensive position, that's a no-brainer, y'all. I mean, like, to be clear, Stravinsky's hitting 235, McManus is 178, Milazzo in only 11 games. Let's see, Milazzo's had, I'm trying to see the stats, hang on. So Milazzo has had 21 ABs on the season. He's batting 190. But, you know, I don't need Milazzo to hit 280. I just need him to have productive at-bats. There's a runner on first. Don't ground into a double play. Runner on second, put the ball on the ground to the right side, get him to third base. There's a runner in scoring position. I need you to put a ball in the outfield so he can tag up. Like, I just need productive at-bats. I need you to foul off pitches and make the guy throw 10 pitches so he shows everything and you run up the pitch count. Like, I've got guys behind you that are gonna change the scoreboard. I just need you to be productive at the plate. So I don't need Milazzo to hit 280. That's the thing that I think so many people lose. Like, you've got enough offense there. What you're missing is a great defensive catcher. Someone that's going to frame pitches to where the borderline pitch gets called a strike. Someone that's going to control the opponent's running game. Someone that, when your pitcher wants to throw the breaking ball 58 feet and bounce it to get a swing and miss, he's got confidence to do it because it's going to get blocked up and not go to the backstop. I mean, I need that more than I need another bat in the 9-hole. Strong side, best whiskey to make an old fashioned. Sazerac rye. Use a rye. Spice in an old fashioned is far better than a bourbon old fashioned. A bourbon tends to get lost in the old fashioned just because of the nature of the spirit. Give me the spice and the boldness of a rye. I mean, an old fashioned was meant to be made with rye whiskey. Same as a Sazerac. I mean, the Sazerac cocktail is meant to be made with Sazerac rye. So, yes, give me rye whiskey. Cortland, top of the lineup, has been largely shut out in every loss. LSU could easily have won most of its games with the issues on the defensive side as his top hitters produce anything at all. Happens. Daylight, what to ask for at Restored Motions for lower back pain. Daylight, here's what's going to happen. Book a session with Crystal Poche. Tell her where she's going to look at you. She's going to look at you. You're going to stand up, she's going to look at you, and you say, I got pain in my back. She's going to look at your posture, how you pull, and she's just going to say, oh, you've had something wrong with this, because this, like, just trust me when I tell you, if you have low back pain, she will find the root. Like, it's not like, I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example, okay? I told you this. I was playing golf last Monday in the Dreams Come True golf tournament. I swing, and I felt like, I thought I blew out my elbow. I thought I had the UCL. Like, it was right here, and my elbow was in so much pain, like to the touch. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, I literally told the guy I was playing with, I think I blew out. Like, my arm was just dangling. It was the same, it was burning on the top as well. I thought I blew out my elbow. That was Monday. Wednesday, I already had a session booked with Crystal. I told her, she was working on my back and my neck thing. I say, I need you to look at my elbow. Like, and I don't want you to do anything if, like, I really hurt myself here, because I don't, like, if I tore something, I don't want to make it worse. So she kind of like fidgets a little with my elbow, and she goes, all right, lay on your side. So I lay on my side, and then she puts into my side and then kind of like unwinds me. And I swear it was 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And she said, I want you to do this. So I held my arm, and she's like, I was like, look, I can't even rotate my arm because I can only do this. I can only go about that far. It's like, I can't turn my arm over. She said, I want you to remember that distance that you could go. 2 minutes later, I was like this, full range, and the pain was completely gone. Like, and she said, well, the reason is because you have a band in your body that goes in this, from this finger and this finger, it runs down your arm, into the elbow, around your neck, and into this hip. So you didn't stretch when you were swinging. So when you're swinging the golf club, this hip pulled, it wrapped around your neck and yanked your arm when you were coming through it. That's what caused the pain in your elbow. Like, you basically had a cramp in your elbow from that hip. So I had to go into your hip, unwind that, and it loosened this whole band, and that's what let your elbow go. I was like, I like, on my life, 2 minutes into my hip, and it fixed my elbow. I'm telling you, we've conditioned ourselves to believe, oh, I have pain, I need to go get a painkiller, I need an injection, my back hurts, I need a dry needle to spot in my back. I've done all of it. I've done dry needling, I've done cupping, I've done acupuncture, PT, OT, I've done all of it. And there's a place for all of it. But I'm telling you, nothing has cured the root of my issues like working with her. I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. If you have pain, I'm telling you, just book a session. Just book one. Just book one. Just take a leap, book one, and then thank me. Von Blusman. Matt, have you heard Stuart Mandel, the Athletic, said a 5-star 2023 recruit signed an NIL deal worth $8 million by his junior in college? Have not. But good for him. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. Good for him. Leonard Sarasota, who wins the national championship first, Jay Johnson or Tony Vitello? Jay Johnson. I don't think Vitello will ever get a roster good enough to win a national championship. Lane Robertson, talking about rye earlier, if you can find Midwinter Night's Dram, it's money. Now, did you mean Acts 16:5? Did you mean Act 8, Scene 5? Did you mean Act 7, Scene 3? I'm just curious. I'm not really sure which one you meant when you said Midwinter Night's Dram. Maybe you could clarify for me in the comments there and let me know which of the Midwinter Night's Dram that you think that I should look for. Just let me know Lane, just let me know which of the Midwinter Night's Dram you want me to look for. Sorry, bro, I had to. Dude thought he was gonna come in here. Ooh, Erica just messaged. Can you come move few? I think she meant Drew, but she put few. Okay, hang on. I have to go move few. No, see, hold on, Lane. Hold on. You said thought it'd be my top 3. I was talking when they asked the question. I went like high end. Dram is great. Dram isn't Sazerac 18, my Kentucky Owl 10-year batch 2. When I'm talking like high end, like $200 plus bottles, Dram is $80. No, maybe right about $100. It's fantastic. I love it, by the way. It's Dram. Midwinter Night's Dram is Rendezvous Rye, finished in special casks, and they actually stopped releasing it publicly. You can only get it now at the distillery. But I love it. Midwinter Night's Dram is magnificent. But I would take the other ones I mentioned over it. In that next tier of like the $75 to $150 bottles, absolutely. I'd probably put that at the top of that tier. That Whistle Pig 10. Okay. Sorry, had to move Drew into his bed. Landon Miller, excited for Scone and Tea. Thank you. Seth Rushing, Brian Kelly hasn't been at LSU that long. You can already see a huge difference in the program. It's being run compared to Ed O. Seems more professional and organized. Hey, Seth, I've been saying that for 5 years, but I got called a hater, so what do I know? Brian Thorgerson, like and subscribe. We can have pop-up nightcaps on any night when alerts happen. Got to be ready to roll 7 days a week. I like it, Brian. Smash a like button. We're at 92. We're at 106 watching. We got 92 likes. I need 8 more likes. If you're watching on mobile on YouTube, X out of the live chat, hit the thumbs up, hit live chat. You'll see the comments come right back. We can get it. I need 8 more likes. And then Facebook, 40 of you hanging on with us. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for being there. Kyle Taylor, Matt, on the LSU football topic. I know it's early, thinking 8-4, 9-3. Who does LSU lose to in the SEC? Obviously, Bama, Auburn, or Ziffy, not the Ark and frauds. Corral is going to Ole Miss. Jimbo will do what Jimbo does. Curious on your thoughts. Remember, you get Tennessee here as well. They're going to score a ton of points. Really good offense. You know, they got Hendon Hooker back at quarterback. Bama's tough. It's always tough to go play at Auburn. You're going to be at Florida again this year, obviously. It's a tough place to play. LSU has won one in the fog there in 20 and then lost there in 18. In the Burrow year. Tough to win at Florida. I mean, the thing that you're going to say, though, about this team lost this and that, whatever, it's true, but other teams are going to say the same about LSU. Like, they're going to think this is a year LSU can be got. So, a lot of turnover in the SEC, man. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'm just telling you, be prepared when Vegas puts out their projected win totals. LSU's over-under is going to be 7.5. Just be prepared for that. Brandon, Matt, are you going to set up therapy sessions for those of us that have become addicted to Nightcap if you don't continue it? Maybe a different night. We'll really miss the rants. Thank you, Brandon. So the YouTube channel is not going away. I mean, if it's whether it's Nightcap or whether it's something in a different format, I mean, I'm still going to be producing content here. So Morning Scone will be there. Obviously, that'll be there every day. And then maybe it's like weekend recap shows after the baseball series on Sunday. Had a lot of requests for that. We can obviously do basketball companion shows for the Pels as they make it through the postseason. So that's a possibility as well. So got options, man. Got a lot of options. Cortland, has there been talk on the next Duke coach at all? I mean, he already hired. It's John Shire. John Shire is replacing Krzyzewski. It's already been decided. Cortland, McMahon has probably cost LSU more runs than he has produced. It's true. In the A&M series, there was I think it was Taylor. It was either Taylor or Collins who got a strike 3 to end the inning, and McManus couldn't block it up, went to the backstop, a run scored, and the inning continued. Yeah. Tyler Guthrie, hope Nussmeier wins the job. I don't think he's going to do that, Tyler. I don't know how you can say the dude's a dog. I kind of look at Nussmeier as kind of a little athletically arrogant and probably not as good right now as he thinks he is. A lot of potential to be good, but we'll need the guy that's careless with the football. That's too much Bo Nix. I need you to be able to be aggressive but not careless. There's a fine line. I think he's careless right now. Wayne Dolisi did a Mr. comments on the Bucs and the new head coach. Didn't have much of it, Wayne. I don't know how much of a role Bruce Arians really played to begin with. They weren't very good before Brady got there. Brady gets there and they win a Super Bowl. Todd Bowles is a well-respected coach. He's been a head coach. He's been up there in the Jets, defensive-minded guy. So you let Byron Leftwich handle the offensive side, you're probably good. Leftwich and Brady, and you're good. So I don't really think it makes that big of a difference, quite honestly. Brandon, need Milazzo back for Auburn. I'm hearing they run a lot. Let's check it out, if y'all got time. I haven't done my deep dive into Auburn yet. I was going to do that as part of my prep tomorrow, but let's do it right now. At least part of it, anyway. Boop. All right. Auburn, nope. Auburn has 17 stolen bases in just 24 attempts. By comparison, Tennessee has 44 stolen bases in 54 attempts. Vanderbilt has 38 out of 41. Let's see, there are 24 attempts. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 teams that have more stolen base attempts than Auburn. And they have the same number as Mississippi State. So they're tied with State for 9th in the league in stolen base attempts. So they're not a team that runs much. Von Bluesman, are you keeping up your chops? Will you attend Jazz Fest this year? You know what, man? I'm going to tell you, I was actually really looking forward to seeing Foo Fighters. And I guess they're probably not going to play this year now, obviously. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go this year. It's a busy weekend. I'll be down there Friday of Zurich for AFR, so maybe I'd love to stay and catch some of Jazz Fest. Craig Duga, almost off of work. Can't wait to get home. Dive into Ragged Branch National Championship edition. Greg, bro. I mean, your sense of humor meets my sensibilities perfectly. Ragged Branch, by the way, is one of the most offensive whiskeys I've ever had in my life. That LA1, which was a Louisiana whiskey, they're now defunct. That was horrendous. Basically, every whiskey that's been produced in Louisiana is awful. They've tried to rush the aging process, and it's just bad. It's very, very bad juice. But Ragged Branch is offensive, and it's the official whiskey of LSU or whatever. I mean, I feel every time I hear Chris Blair, one of those guys, do the read for Ragged Branch, I feel so bad for them because, like, and Chris is from Kentucky, and he's a whiskey guy. He's got to know that stuff is dog shit. But he's got to do the read. So, I mean, it's not an endorsement; it's just a read, right? But anyway. D, what's up? Strong side, are seahorses real? Do y'all still have a landline? Yes, we have a landline. And yes, seahorses are real. DT, Matt, where we get Gamecoin scoop of Nightcap ends? Just ask me. Ask me any question anytime. I'm happy to answer. John Bodenheimer, would you bet on Peyton coming back? Try to acquire an extra late first-round pick, another third in this draft. I would not bet on Sean Payton coming back. Not this year, no. Strong side, what's good? Friday nights are made for nightcaps. Maybe so. Cortland, this Auburn longest win streak against LSU in over 20 years. Need to end that. Baseball? Oh, football, because they won one game. Got it. D, I miss the companion shows with Coog and Joe Pa. I do too, man. I mean, I'm watching the games anyway. I'd love to be hanging out with y'all. But that's a directive that LSU put into their contract with guarantee on the new media rights deal that we couldn't do companion shows. So, I mean, I even was like, well, I'm not doing it on ESPN. I'm doing it on my own. They're like, no, they specifically mention your baseball companion shows. I'm like, it does. I mean, it annoys me to my core that LSU gets to determine what I do on my personal social media. Like, that annoys me. That's just, I'm wired differently to where that makes me want to just go like, burn the motherfucker down. You know what I mean? But I won't. I'm an employee. I work for somebody else, and so I will absolutely comply. I mean, I'll do it kicking and screaming, and I'll take shots like that whenever I have the opportunity. But I will comply. Greg, where'd you get your office chair? So this one, so here's the thing. You got to keep in mind our studio chairs, like the set, the desk is 4 feet high. So you have to have a chair with a lift on it. So the problem we have is all the chairs we've gotten, when you put the lift up, they all like compress down over time. Like we've never gotten one that stays up. So you're in the middle of a segment and it's just like, psh, psh, psh. And so then you have this camera on you and it's set here and then all of a sudden your head's here. It's massively frustrating. But anyway, so I have a, so I have a bar stool in studio, in my office at Guarantee, that Mr. Dennis Denicola gave me years ago. It's an LSU gold chairback seat that he had finished with like the leather from a football embroidered with the LSU Eye of the Tiger logo. It's fine. It's gorgeous. And it actually, the height is perfect for the set. So I started using that 2 days ago. And it's awesome. I love it. Sorry. Okay. All right, we're up to 116 on the likes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Daniel Sonetz, what's good? Shannon Russell, Googe. Speaking of top shelf rye, recently got Barrel Seagrass Gray Label, 16-year, 130 proof. Ooh. Haven't cracked it yet, but let's do it. Hey, Googe. I'm down. I really like the barrel offerings. I've not had Seagrass. I do have Armada back there. Dovetail obviously is really good as well. Shout out to my guy Joe Juba, by the way. Joe Juba is the one that scored me the Barrel Armada. Also, we opened that on a Nightcap one. I think Barrel does great stuff. All of the barrel picks that I've had as well have been really good. So I've not had the Seagrass Gray Label, but I'd love to try it, man. It'd be awesome. I don't know if that was an offer, Googe, but I just invited myself. Kyle Taylor, won't hurt my feelings when Vegas says 7-5. 7-5, 8-4 is better than 500. Very true. Daniel Sinedge, Josh Bergeron, please never stop Nightcap with Scone. That wouldn't be fair. I don't intend to, but I also, like, it's not likely that I'm going to be able to do it on Wednesdays now with Scone and Tea being Wednesday nights. Like, I'm not going to do Nightcap. I'm not going to do Scone and Tea, come home, and then go right into Nightcap for another 2 hours. I just can't do it. So, we'll see. Where are we? Sorry, I lost my spot. Robbie White, Matt got Thug Rose as the last leg of a 4-bet parlay. Like my chances. When is Thug Rose fighting? See, I need to get back into my MMA watching hardcore again. I've been catching fights, but I need to get like re-engaged in MMA. I saw Thug Rose fight in Houston. Was it Houston fight or the was that on Vegas? Let me see. Thug Rose. Let's see. Let's see. She fought. God, was it that long? God, it was that long ago. Holy shit. It was this fight. It was October of no, that couldn't have been it. 2015. No, where did I see Thug Rose then? Was it 2015? No, it couldn't have been that long ago. Take that back. It wasn't Thug Rose. It was Valentina that I saw in Houston a couple of years ago. Like a month pre-COVID. Saw Valentina in Houston. Fucking clinic. One of the most technically dominant fights I have ever seen, man or woman. I was thinking of the Thug Rose fight against Jessica Andrade, the one she won, the split decision that she won. She's a beast, man. When she beat your J-Check, I mean, Thug Rose is a monster, man. I don't know when her next fight is, but shit, I wouldn't bet against her. Let's see, when's her next fight? Doesn't say, when's her next fight, Robbie? Anyway. Robert LeBlanc. Did you really ask about this man's chair? Robert, if you don't get it, Robert, then that's a long-standing AFR bit about my chairs. But anyway. Cortland, don't watch much basketball. Have no idea about Duke. I was curious. Oh, it's all good, man. Yeah, no, they announced John Shire. Like, Coach K named John Shire his replacement when he retired. Seth Rushing, you were spot on about O in hindsight. After the Natty, he was careless with all the off-field stuff. Seth, but it was before the Natty, too. That's the thing that everyone neglects because of the Natty. There's this assumption that it was good, and then they won, and then he stopped trying or became careless. Like, you forget, The man hired Derek Panamsky to be his special assistant and then asked Gordy Rush, Gordy, can Derek work on the radio and be my special assistant? He hired Matt Canada without ever interviewing him. He had one phone conversation. Go back and listen to any interview with Ed Orgeron when he said, well, I remember, what do you like about Matt Canada? What attracted you about Matt Canada? 42 points a game is all he could say because he didn't know dick about what Matt Canada wanted or was doing. That's why the first fucking day they fought. They were like fighting on the practice field. Canada wanted Miles Brennan. Orgeron wanted Danny Etling. Danny Etling couldn't run the offense Matt Canada wanted to run. Anyway, he ran off Dave Aranda because like Dave Aranda is as nice and affable a guy as you meet, and Ed Orgeron was like abrasive and a dick to him, and so he couldn't wait to get away. Like Dave Aranda was about to take the UNLV job just to get the fuck away. Anyway, point is, the shit show preceded the Natty. The Natty was Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow around an NFL roster. And then they're like, well, Ed Orgeron recruited the roster. Like, do you realize what he inherited? Like, that's the thing I'll push back on too. Like, do you realize what he inherited? Y'all are gonna fucking get me going now. Like, I'm repulsed by this notion that he inherited this desolate program. Like, the 2016 team that Ed Orgeron inherited as an interim, the running backs were Leonard Fournette, Darius Geis, Darrell Williams. Your receivers were Malachi Dupree, DJ Chark, Russell Gage. Pretty good receiving core. Your offensive line included Ethan Posick, Will Clapp, Josh Butte. When you look at your defense, that included Kendall Beckwith, who was all SEC, unfortunately tore his ACL in the last game of the season against Florida. You had Tre'Davious White, Dante Jackson, Jamal Adams, Arden Key in 2016, like when he was still Arden Key. Like, the man inherited a fucking NFL roster. Les just couldn't get out of his own way offensively. They were like preseason number 3 and number 5. Like, they had a fucking NFL roster. He inherited an NFL roster. Anyway. The shit show preceded 2019. 2019 was a beautiful, brief respite because Joe Burrow is the greatest fucking player that ever played at LSU. And I know what you're going to say. Well, who recruited Joe Burrow? Well, I'll give Ed Orgeron credit for going through the recruiting process, but the reason the door was even open was Bill Bush. And Bill Bush was here because of Dave Aranda. Whenever Aranda was going to leave to go to A&M, which he was leaving to go to A&M, that's the year they had the 10th assistant. Well, Aranda's family didn't want to leave. They liked Baton Rouge. So Aranda got $2 million a year, 2.5, whatever it was, and Orgeron agreed to let him handpick the 10th assistant. Aranda handpicked Bill Bush because he wanted to split the duties with Bush and Corey Raymond. That did not sell with Corey Raymond. That's why they didn't get Patrick Surtain, because Corey got pissed, started doing interviews with NFL teams, and Surtain was like, and Saban negative recruited him and said, hey, by the way, the reason you're going to LSU, he just interviewed with the Dolphins or the Bengals, whoever it was. That's why they lost Patrick Surtain. Like, Ed fucked that whole thing up. And then they lost Surtain. Then they went to the kid who ultimately decided to go to Clemson, the cornerback. I forgot his name now. And they're like, hey, we have your spot now. He's like, no, I'm good. I'll go to Clemson. So then they were left without a cornerback, which is why they had to go sign Terrence Alexander from Stanford. And they missed out on the quarterback, Foster, who ultimately signed with A&M. So they lost Surtain, who was a self-described LSU lean his whole career because Ed fucked up the whole staff. And then they didn't get the cornerback. And because they dawdled so long, they didn't get a quarterback in that class either, which necessitated them going to get a transfer just to have numbers at quarterback. Otherwise, you would have had Brennan, Narcisse, and McMillan. That would have been it. So, like, you needed a quarterback. Thankfully, Bill Bush and Jimmy Burrow had coached together at Nebraska. So Bill Bush called Jimmy, and they got a courtesy visit from Burrow. Credit Ed for selling Burrow and recruiting. That's Ed's strength, absolutely. But Like, it ain't like Joe Burrow was just all whimsical about Ed Orgeron and LSU. Like, he knew he wasn't going to win a national championship at Cincinnati. He had a chance to do it at LSU, so he came here. We good? Everybody get it now? Sort of? Or y'all can just believe whatever bullshit y'all want. Y'all can just believe that Ed kept building and grinding, one team, one heartbeat, and all that bullshit, and he made good hires, and they won the Natty, and he got divorced, and then it just all fell apart. Really, it was a fucking disaster all the way around. And I mean, they fucking lost to Troy his first year. I mean, he was a disaster. All of his hires were atrocious, with the exception of the special teams coach. I mean, he was a disaster. The best coaches on his staff, Dave Aranda, Steve Ensminger, Corey Raymond, were all hired by Les Miles. Anyway, y'all are seeing it now. Like, all the shit I've said for 5 years, y'all are seeing it now. And go, Scone isn't an asshole. He doesn't just hate Ed Orgeron. He's actually right. Yeah, he's right. He's been right. Jackson Hayes, big three. Boy, away. Tied it up. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Pills. This is why y'all hang out with me, bro. Y'all can say whatever you want. Y'all can call me a hater and say whatever bullshit y'all want about me. The one thing you'll never call me is a liar. I'll fucking tell you the truth. You may not always like it, but I'll fucking tell you the truth. John Bodenheimer, nice to have a competent head coach. Yes, sir. Even if his humor is dry as petrified wood, that's true. Someone needs to pull him aside and be like, hey, bro, stop with the jokes, dog. Hunter Harris, what's up? Never heard this. Love it. You should listen to Nightcap. Said plenty of times. Mark Allen, always shirtless, threatening college kids. That's all you need to know. Yeah. Cortland, Miles' last couple of classes were some of his best ever. Yeah. John Smithsonian, this is what I like about Nightcap, the ranch. You hang around long enough, you're bound to get one. A guy from Shreveport excited about NSU basketball transfer. What do you think about getting Miller back? Other players? Miller already entered the portal. None of those guys are coming back. I don't know how they retain any of those guys from this team. Matt, do you think the Pels will have traded for McCollum if Zion had played it all this season? Good question. I don't know. Good question. Really good question. I don't know. I don't know what it would have looked like. It worked out better for Aranda to stay for the championship. True, but could A&M have been already ahead? LSU maybe doesn't. I don't think LSU wins the championship without Dave Aranda. Look at the hire that Ed Orgeron made subsequently. He fucking hired Bo Pelini and Durante Jones. He hired Bo Pelini, who was so far out of his element. He literally had the worst defense in the history of the school. At 8 o'clock meetings, Bo Pelini was like screaming across the fucking train tracks on Skip Ertman Drive at 7:59. Last one in the building, first one out. Dude played more golf last year in Baton Rouge than any motherfucker in town. Like, awful hire, because Ed called Pete Carroll and said, hey, who should I hire? Oh, you should hire Bo Pelini. Okay, because Ed can't think for himself. Offensive coordinator. I got an idea. Let's hire a guy that's literally never called plays before. It's fucking LSU. You're paying him 7 figures. You're going to hire someone who's never called plays before? Guy's a moron. Like, he just was not. He's great defensive line coach, passionate recruiter, awful head coach. Like, horrendous. He will go down with Larry Coker and Gene Chizik as doofuses who, Gene Chizik's not a doofus. He just got lucky into Cam Newton. But as guys that just lucked their way into championships. I like Gene Chizik a lot. He's a really smart guy. Ooh, Thug Rose against Esparza, May 7th. She got a ways for that. Okay. Travis Young, what's the bottle top shelf above your dog pick? Beautiful dog, by the way. Thank you, Travis. So that is Valley, and that's Maggie. Those are my boxers who are now in doggy heaven. Those bottles up there are Fighting 69th Irish Whiskey. Fighting 69th, really cool story behind it. It is blended Irish whiskey, and it's rooted in the 69th Battalion of the U.S. Army, which actually has some amazing parallels to the Fighting Tigers of the Civil War, for which LSU was named, the mascot was named, because that battalion, the Fighting Tigers, actually fought alongside the Fighting 69th as well. I believe in World War One. Anyway, check out the phenomenal story, and a portion of the sale of every bottle of Fighting 69th goes to the Fighting 69th's trust, which pays for school and things like that for families of fallen soldiers of the Fighting 69th. So awesome story behind it. I'm not the hugest Irish whiskey guy. Irish whiskey is just a little too mellow for me, but that is actually magnificent. I mean, it's a really, really good sipper. Again, not my favorite, like Irish whiskey just isn't my favorite thing, but for Irish whiskey, that is a really, really good sipper. And it's a very affordable bottle. I think it's like around $30. Calandro's has a Fighting 69th store pick right now, as a matter of fact, if you're interested. But yeah, I would highly recommend it for a lot of great reasons. Got to meet Chris Leskowitz, who is the master blender of Fighting 69th. Really great dude. Tyler Cooley, good evening. Thoughts on Have Fontenot? Maybe that's probably Devin Fontenot. I love Devin Fontenot, love his experience. He will be a really good pitcher in high leverage situations this year. Oh, a starter, no closer. I think they just want to get him work. That's why he started the other night. Antonio Bucher. Impressive thing about Canada's eye candy scheme was that he was able to create production and put up like 14 points or something back then in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. Anyway. Robbie White, 2 questions. Who's in the picture next to the dog? What's the feature whiskey again tonight? Picture next to the dog. Oh, that's, well, I'll show you. That's me, my brother, and my dad. I guess you mean this one. This is also a dog. It's just this is my other box. This was Maggie. It's just a black and white photo. You can't see because it's kind of whitewashed by the light. But this is me, my dad, and my brother. I think this was at the LSU Washington game in Tiger Stadium. And what was that? 2012? Is that right? 2013? What year did we play Washington in Baton Rouge? That was 12 or 13. I can't remember. Played Washington up there in 9. So no, we played Washington here in 12, right? Because 13 was the opener against TCU in Arlington. So that'd be 2012. 10 years ago. Wow. 10 years ago. Seth Rushing said, sorry to get you fired up. Don't ever apologize. That's mostly why people come. So you're saying we need Leslie back? No, great. But I'll tell you this about Les. Les was a great recruiter. Les was great at identifying coaching talent and bringing it here. Les's biggest bugaboo was he could not get the fuck out of the way offensively. He could not. I mean, the stories I heard about Thursday meetings where he and Cam, and by the way, he and Cam were in lockstep. It wasn't just Cam. It was Les and Cam. They would shut the rest of the staff out of the meeting. Les and Cam would just go to work on Thursday and just put together their shit for Saturday. Like, I mean, those two were in lockstep. I mean, it's that was Les's biggest bugaboo. I mean, except all the off-field stuff now, but the GOAT, Edo or Les, who is the better coach? Les. It's not even close. Les Miles won 70% of his games over a decade. Like, he was unconventional, absolutely, but all Les cared about was winning. It wasn't always aesthetically pleasing, but he knew how to use whatever strength he had to win. It's like a defensive fighter in boxing. It's not going to be pretty. You're not going to see huge knockouts, but you're going to point him to death. That's what Les did. I mean, it's not even close. Les Miles by a bajillion miles was the better coach. Cortland, can't believe an ump would make that kind of threat to one coach. Probably shouldn't be an ump. Oh, with Johnson, yeah, surprising. Well, in fairness, we don't know if he told Kevin O'Sullivan anything. Like, we don't. I mean, Jay told what he said to him. Don't know if he gave any type of warning to O'Sullivan. Flitter, Denicola does great work. Where'd you get your home office chair? Erica found this somewhere on the internet. She buys everything off of Amazon. She buys everything. It just shows up in boxes at the door. It's a comfortable chair, though. Lane Robertson, Matt, does it make you nervous that LSU's put themselves in another national spotlight season opener against a team with a tune-up like UCLA? No. Go win it. Doesn't make me nervous. I'd rather play that game. What do you want to see? Fucking LSU against Eastern Michigan in the opener? Fuck that. Go play in the Dome and play Florida State. Bring in the fucking war chant. Give me that. Give me games I actually want to see. The fucked up thing is that it's a brutal, awful, hideous, broken postseason where you lose a game and you can't ever fucking play for a championship. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Where's the incentive to actually schedule tough games? No, give me shit I want to see. By the way, if you're still watching, I just dropped a link for Best of 225. Your boy was nominated for Best Radio Personality, and 104.5 ESPN was nominated for Best Radio Station. If you would, please click that link and vote. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's free. You don't even have to live here. All you have to have is an email address. So I think voting ends on a week from tomorrow. So that'd be awesome. If you would vote, I'd appreciate it greatly. Do you think the Saints stick with Jameis long term? If he plays well this year, I do. I think they give him a long-term contract. But it's the beauty of the 2-year deal. They can basically look at him this year. If he plays well, give him a long-term deal. If he doesn't, go into next year looking for a long-term option. Riley Ortego. Les Moss closed doors to make an offense game plan. He did. They shut out the rest of the offensive staff on Thursdays. Him and Cam. Hunter Harris, don't know if you talked about it. What can you expand on Supreme Court law that might pass pertains to LSU? Yeah, absolutely. It's only from the effective date of the bill, so it's not going to affect LSU actually. Les had more than just one national championship caliber team. That's true. 06 was definitely, I think 06 was the most talented team he had. And 07, look, they lost to first team in 50 years to lose 2 games and win a natty. 11 certainly, but they got fucked in 11. I mean, Bama should have never been in that one. They should have played West Virginia or Oklahoma State, and they beat the fuck out of Oklahoma State. So they should have won it in 11. And quite honestly, they had the best team in 12 also. So just took Mettenberg a little while to get rolling. You know, if Met was gripping it and ripping it at the beginning of the season like he did at the end, I think they would have won it in 12. But it happens. Dale, yeah, what's up, man? Riley said that was a better recruiter. Les found ways to play close games in his down season. Riley, don't underestimate Ed as a recruiter. As quirky and idiosyncratic as he was, I can't tell you how many players, parents, coaches that have said that dude in a living room was unbelievable. Les Miles. In a living room, recruiting a kid was unbelievable. Different style, obviously, than Ed, who's just raw emotion, but raved about Les and his ability to sit on a couch in a living room and convince a parent that he cared about their child and was going to take care of them. And, I mean, you can't call him a liar. At least not for that. Robbie, Matt, do you look back 10 years and laugh at what you thought was good bourbon? No, Robbie, I don't. I don't laugh at it because I say everybody just drink what you enjoy. I legitimately mean that. Drink what you enjoy. And 10 years ago, I drank Jack and Sprite. I don't laugh at that. There's a ton of people who like. I still like Jack and Sprite. I think Jack and Sprite's really good. I just don't want to drink 8 Sprites over the course of a day, you know, and a 5th of Jack. That's not very health conscious or aware. I mean, the reason I started getting into whiskey is I needed an option, an alternative to doing that or drinking 10 beers in a day. I can have, I mean, y'all see me here tonight. I've had, you know, 2-ounce pours of whiskey. I've had 3-4 ounces of whiskey over the last 2 hours, you know, and I'm perfectly satisfied. I'm not drunk. I enjoyed it. A little sipper, so I got a little bit left of this pour, you know. I've just found something that I really enjoy. I like the hobby. I like to collect it. I like to sample a lot of different stuff. I like to offer it to people who get excited to try rare stuff when they come over. You know, great. Kirk, 2012 Bama broke my spirit. You know what's interesting, Kirk? Had the Yeldon play not happened, LSU would have won the national championship in 2012. They would have gone to Atlanta and won the SEC championship game, and they'd have played Notre Dame and beat the shit out of them. Had the Yeldon play not hurt. Their only loss would have been the hammer and nail game in Gainesville, 13-6 or whatever it was. And they would have gone to Atlanta, won the SEC championship, and then beaten the fuck out of Notre Dame. How different the world is if Bama doesn't get the rematch in 2011, or if the Yeldon play doesn't happen in 2012. Stunning. All right, y'all, I think we're just about done. We've got to shout y'all out again to Hudco, man. Hudco Roofing, Hudco. Oh, by the way, Robbie asked tonight's pick. Tonight's pick is I emceed the Down Syndrome Awareness Buddy Walk this past Saturday, and as a thank you, they gifted me this. It's the Kentucky Owl St. Patrick's Day edition. It's a limited release. It's a blend of the... It's a collaboration with Louis Lagoin, which is an Irish whiskey bonder, and John Ray, the master blender. So it's fantastic. It's 100 proof. It on the nose and the palate, it tastes like double mint gum. Smells like double mint gum. It's really very pleasant. Not super bold, but drinks like an Irish whiskey. Good long finish though. I enjoyed it very much. I don't know the price point on it. Again, it was a gift, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's a very, very good pour. Let's see. Tyler Cooley, wildest Les Miles story besides benching Jefferson and T-Bob in the Natty, or benching Lee. I'll be fascinated to know if one day the Jarrett Lee thing ever gets told. I'm not going to tell it. I will not be the one to tell it ever, but I'll be fascinated to know if somebody tells it. Wildest Miles story. Well, I mean, Les didn't socialize much. Les was about football and his family. So, like, one of the big criticisms that a lot of, like, see, the thing is that at a place like LSU, man, in this state, a lot of the money people, like, they want their face time with the football coach. And Les just never did that. So he didn't ingratiate himself to a lot of the big boosters. Ed did. That's why he was popular. I mean, the first thing Ed did, because he had Derek sitting there riding sidecar, and Derek was telling him all the shit that he heard through the grapevine forever. So they opened practice to the media. They welcomed all former players in. Like, everything Les didn't do, Ed did, which gained him popularity. But so of that with Les. Now, I'll tell you this, man. Since the allegations have come out, I have had, like, and I will tell, I mean, I will not go into any detail, but I have had very, very detailed, off-the-record conversations with some of his accusers. Young women who worked in the football office who have told me in great detail accusations against him. Again, I'm not gonna say it here because they were off the record conversations, and Les isn't here to defend himself, so I wouldn't slander a man for that. But the amount of detail is certainly damning, because you wonder, like, how could somebody make this fucking shit up? Like, if you're making this up, you're fucking a brilliant or you're a psychopath. I mean, there's shit like, you know, they played Florida, and Les had the driver, like, the team buses were waiting on him, and each had the driver just, like, drive him around campus because he wanted to see the campus and shit. I mean, just stupid shit like that. The buses with the players just, like, waiting to go back to the hotel or go to the airport, and Les is just driving around campus with an escort. I mean, shit like that. Just Les stuff, you know. I liked Les, y'all. Like, I had a good relationship with him. I mean, he wasn't the easiest guy to cover because he wasn't very accessible. and he was never very forthcoming, but I personally, I never had a problem with it, you know. Ed was tough because Ed hated me from the day he was hired. He knows that I didn't approve of the hire, and he resented me terribly for it, and made my job professionally very difficult. Things that I never said on air while he was the coach. I'll tell y'all now, but yeah, that's just about it. Beer, football, and crypto. I love it. Good combo. Have you tried Dana White's whiskey? I have not. All right, y'all, are we done? Might be. Yeah. Kirk said Miles being about football and his family, when all the stories came out, it was shocking for someone who perceived he was to be a family guy. But I still believe that, like, about his kids. I mean, he loves his children. I don't doubt that at all. I mean, he loves and prioritizes his children. I don't deny that at all. The Columbus Day press conference is the best damn thing in LSU media for a long time. If you're Italian, this is your day. If you're someone who would venture onto a ship to explore new land, this is your day. That fucking guy. Aaron Hornsby, worst hire ever. Who was the worst hire ever? Les? Bro. Les consistently won here for more than a decade, won you a natty, played for a second, won you a couple of SEC titles. No. He was not the worst hire ever. Curly Hallman, Mike Archer, worst hires. All right, y'all, think we're done. 1 hour and 58 minutes. So you know what? Since I have an hour, I have 1 minute and 19 seconds before we hit 2 hours. I'm going to do this for 1 minute and 19 seconds. And I hope you'll hang on for this. 89 of you still watching. If you haven't yet, please smash the like button. On Facebook, there are 37 of you still watching. If you haven't yet, please like the page, share the post. If you're new there, please subscribe up to the YouTube channel. Remember, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. If you, someone you know, family member, friend, co-worker, pinned in the comments is the Hudco Roofing link. If you would, just fill out the contact form, free, no obligation roofing inspection. If you had an issue due to this weather or not sure if you did, we'd love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Gamecoin, thegamecoin.net to learn more or how to buy Gamecoin. mycleanliving.net, air purifiers, NASA technology, mycleanliving.net, and my girl Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. If you have pain, don't live pain, y'all. There is an answer. They're a call away, a session away. Crystal Poche of Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, restoredmotions.com. All right, we got 18 seconds till we hit the 2 hour mark. Put that a 2 hour nightcap. Oh, it's 11:18. A long Thursday for your boy. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Love y'all. Next Wednesday, we are at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea. Have a good night. Peace. 2 hours.